The repair request came in at 3:17 station time, right when the outer hull lights dimmed and the long corridors of docking ring 7 slipped into artificial night. Elias Varn was still awake. He usually was. Sleep had become optional after too many years spent fixing things that no one else could understand. Machines older than governments, systems built by species long gone, and technology that hummed with logic humanity was never meant to grasp. He sat in his cluttered workshop, boots up on the console, a half-drained cup of synth coffee cooling beside him. The request blinked silently on his display. Client, unknown. Species, classified. Request, structural repair, critical. Location, external dock 7C, unauthorized vessel. Elias frowned. Unauthorized vessel meant one thing, trouble. He should have ignored it. Instead, he sighed, grabbed his toolkit, and muttered, "Yeah, this is exactly how people like me die." Dock 7C was dim, even by station standards. Most of the legitimate ships docked on the inner rings, where light and traffic never stopped. This outer section was reserved for damaged, quarantined, or, more often, unregistered vessels that preferred not to be seen. Elias stepped through the pressure door, and the moment it sealed behind him, he saw the ship. It wasn't like anything he had ever worked on. Sleek, yes, but not in a manufactured way. Its surface seemed almost organic. Smooth curves flowed into each other, shifting subtly as if the ship itself was breathing. Faint veins of soft blue light pulsed beneath its dark exterior. He stopped mid-step. "Okay," he whispered. "That's new." A ramp extended from the hull before he could touch anything. He didn't like that, but he walked forward anyway. Inside, the air was warm. Not station warm, alive warm. The corridor curved gently, with no visible seams or panels. The walls shimmered faintly, reacting to his presence. He could feel it, not with his hands, but somewhere deeper, like the ship was aware. "Great," Elias muttered. "A sentient ship. Just what I needed." "You are incorrect." The voice wasn't loud, but it was everywhere. Elias froze. "Right," he said slowly. "Of course I am. Happens all the time." A figure stepped out from the far end of the corridor. She wasn't human. That much was obvious immediately. Her skin had a faint silver hue, catching the ambient light like liquid metal. Her eyes, too bright, too sharp, seemed to glow with an internal energy. Her movements were fluid, precise, almost impossibly graceful. She stopped a few steps away. "I requested assistance," she said. Elias blinked. "You did. And here I am, questioning all my life choices." Her expression didn't change. "Are you capable of performing structural repair?" "That depends," Elias replied, glancing around. "On whether your ship obeys physics or just makes it up as it goes." "It is damaged." "Yeah," he said. "That part one got." A brief pause. Then she said, "Follow me." The damage was deeper inside. They walked in silence, the soft hum of the ship surrounding them. Elias noticed how the walls dimmed slightly as they passed, almost like the vessel was conserving energy, or reacting to her presence. Or his. They reached a chamber that looked wrong. The smooth geometry of the ship broke here. The walls were jagged, fractured, as if something had torn through them. The faint blue light flickered erratically, and a low, unstable vibration filled the air. Elias crouched near the breach. "What happened?" he asked. She hesitated. "Then, I was attacked." He glanced up. "By who?" "Pursuers." "That clears everything up," Elias muttered. He leaned closer to the damage. And that's when he saw it. The structure wasn't metal. Not really. It was something else, Something layered, adaptive, almost like a hybrid between technology and biology. The broken edges weren't sharp. They were frayed, like torn tissue. He exhaled slowly. This isn't a standard repair job. I assumed as much. Yeah, he said. You should have mentioned that before I walked into a living spaceship. It is not alive. Elias looked at her, then at the walls, then back at her. Sure. He got to work anyway, because that's what he did. Elias pulled out his scanner, running it slowly over the damaged area. The readings made no sense. The material was constantly shifting, reconfiguring itself in microscopic patterns, trying to repair the damage on its own. But it was failing. Your ship's trying to heal, he said. But something's stopping it. Yes. External interference? Yes. From the attack? Yes. Elias smirked faintly. You're not big on extra details, are you? She didn't respond. He sighed. All right, he said, standing. I need to isolate the damaged section, stabilize the structure, and then figure out how to kickstart whatever self-repair system this thing has. You will require assistance. Elias raised an eyebrow. You offering? Yes. Good, he said, because I have no idea what I'm doing. Hours passed, or maybe minutes. Time felt strange inside the ship. They worked together in silence at first. Elias guided the process, setting up stabilizers, rerouting energy flows, improvising tools when his standard equipment failed to interact properly with the alien material. And she adapted. Quickly. Too quickly. You've done this before, Elias said at one point. Yes. On ships like this? No. He glanced at her. Then how do you know what to do? She didn't answer immediately. I am learning, she said finally. Elias chuckled. Yeah. Me too. The breakthrough came unexpectedly. Elias noticed a faint pattern in the energy fluctuations, something rhythmic, almost like a pulse. Wait, he said, holding up a hand. Stop. She froze instantly. Your ship, he said slowly. It's not just trying to repair itself, it's responding to you. She tilted her head slightly. Explain. The energy flow. It changes when you're near the damage. Like it's syncing with you. That is not possible. Lady, Elias said, gesturing around, nothing about this is possible. He stepped back. Try something. What? I don't know, he admitted. Touch it. Focus on it. Talk to it. Sing to it if you want. She stared at him. I do not sing. Shame, Elias muttered. But she stepped forward anyway. Slowly, she placed her hand against the fractured surface. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, the ship responded. The blue light surged, flowing toward her hand like liquid. The jagged edges began to smooth, the fractured structure knitting itself together in real time. Elias's eyes widened. Okay, he whispered. That's definitely something. She didn't move, didn't speak, but the ship listened. When it was over, the chamber was whole again. No fractures, no instability, just smooth, seamless structure, like the damage had never existed. Elias let out a low whistle. Remind me to hire you next time I need repairs. She stepped back, staring at her hand. I did not know, she said quietly. Yeah, Elias replied. Me neither. They returned to the main corridor. Something had changed. The ship felt different, warmer, more aware. Elias couldn't explain it, but he could feel it. And so could she. It is stronger, she said. Because of you, Elias replied. She shook her head. No. Because of us. He smiled faintly. I'll take partial credit. A warning alarm echoed suddenly through the ship. Sharp. Urgent. Her expression changed instantly. They have found me. Elias groaned. Of course they have. Why wouldn't they? The ship trembled slightly. They will not allow me to leave, she said. Yeah, Elias said. That tends to happen with pursuers. She looked at him. You should go. He blinked. Excuse me? This is not your conflict. Elias crossed his arms. Lady, I just spent hours fixing your impossible ship. I think that makes it at least partially my problem now. You will be in danger. I'm always in danger, he said. Occupational hazard. A pause. Then she said, Why are you helping me? Elias shrugged. Because you asked. The first impact hit moments later. The ship shuddered violently, lights flickering as energy shields absorbed the blast. Elias grabbed onto the nearest surface. Okay, he said. That's new. They're attempting to disable my systems. Can they? Yes. Great. He looked around. All right. Elias said, already moving. Where's your control center? The next few minutes were chaos. Elias rerouted power, reinforced failing systems, and improvised defenses using whatever tools he could access. The ship responded to both of them now, faster, stronger, more coordinated. It wasn't just following commands. It was cooperating. They're targeting your propulsion, Elias shouted. I am aware. Good. Because if that goes, we're officially doomed. Another impact. Closer. Stronger. The ship groaned. They are adapting, she said. Yeah, Elias replied. So are we. The turning point came when Elias realized something critical. They're expecting you to run, he said. Yes. So don't. She looked at him. What? Stay, he said. Hold position. Let them get close. That is illogical. So is everything about this situation, Elias snapped. Trust me. A pause. Then, very well. The enemy ships closed in. 3 of them. Dark, angular, heavily armed. They moved with precision, surrounding her vessel. Elias grinned. Perfect. What are you doing? Something stupid, he said. My specialty. He adjusted the ship's energy flow, channeling everything into one system. Now, he said, remember how you connected to the ship earlier? Yes. Do it again, he said. But this time, don't just repair it. A beat. Command it. She hesitated, then placed her hand against the console. The ship responded instantly. Energy surged, stronger than before, brighter, more intense. Elias watched the readings spike. That's it, he said. Now push it. The ship pulsed. Once. Twice. Then it unleashed everything. A wave of energy burst outward, slamming into the surrounding ships with overwhelming force. Their shields collapsed instantly, their systems failing under the sudden, coordinated attack. Within seconds, they were gone. Disabled. Drifting. Silence filled the void. Elias leaned back, breathing heavily. Well, he said, that worked. She lowered her hand slowly. The glow in her eyes faded slightly. It should not have been possible. Yeah, Elias said. I'm starting to get used to that. The ship stabilized. The danger passed. And for the first time since he boarded, everything was calm. She turned to him. You have altered the outcome of this pursuit. Elias shrugged. Just another day at the office. You could have left. Yeah, he said. But I didn't. A pause. Then she said, Why? Elias thought about it, then smiled. Because sometimes, he said, fixing things leads to something better. She studied him for a long moment, then said, Come with me. Elias blinked. Come with you? Yes. Where? She looked toward the stars beyond the hull. Beyond the system, she said. Beyond what you know. Elias hesitated, for the first time that night. Then he looked around the ship, at the impossible technology, at the living, breathing structure, at the future waiting just beyond reach. He smiled. Yeah, he said. All right. The ship moved. Not like any vessel Elias had ever seen. It didn't accelerate. It shifted. The stars bent, stretched, and then they were gone. Somewhere far beyond the edge of known space, a human engineer and a being from another world traveled together aboard a ship that was no longer just a machine. It was something more, just like them. And it had all started with a simple request.
A repair.